Hi, I'm John, and I'm the owner of PTD Vintage here in Chicago. We specialize in vintage electric guitars, acoustic guitars, basses, electric pianos, amps, you name it. Well, the way I got started in the business, first and foremost, was just I always loved guitars when I was younger. I would go to shops and play everything on the wall. And then as I got older, I was playing in bands and recording, so we were always looking for the perfect tone. We were always looking for the cooler guitar. I'd say I've been doing this professionally since the mid-2000s, and the first time I made a sale internationally and shipped it successfully overseas, I think that's when I was like, I think that I can do this. It's kind of a rush when you unearth something that has been, hidden away for many, many years, refurbish it, clean it up, give it love. You see the potential it has. Now, I might not be as prolific a player as other people, but when it gets to that final destination and that person is going to make an incredible record with an electric piano, or they're going to have the show of a lifetime playing an electric guitar, or even, just something that they can hand down to their kids one day, keep it in the family. It's just really cool. One thing I love about this business is it doesn't matter where I am. If I'm on vacation or if I'm on a road trip and I see a barn or I see an estate sale, I cannot help myself. I have to see if they've got a Gibson case stashed under a bed somewhere. And there's the thrill of, popping the latches on an old case and unearthing a guitar that no one has seen or played in 50 years. It's a thrill. Another thing that I'm always looking for, obviously, are the pickups. It's the headstock, the inlays, the badges. These are all the things that give character. If something plays and sounds great, the label doesn't really matter. There's a story behind it somewhere. And when it comes to amps, I really like everything to be original. The original speaker, the original tubes, the original knobs. It just makes everything like the way that it was supposed to sound right off the factory line. Whether you've got a Fender Vibrochamp, a Gibson Skylark, they put those speakers in there for a reason, and it's supposed to sound that way. With electric pianos, I always want them to be complete. You want them to have the legs, you want them to have the sustain pedals, the lid, the case. You want to look and see if the Tolex is clean. I like it when things are clean, and if they're not, I'm going to make sure that they are squeaky clean by the time I list them. The reason to buy used or vintage instruments is, it's the old adage, they don't make them like they used to. The old stuff from the 60s and the 70s, they were putting their heart and soul into the construction. There were artists making these things. Another thing that kind of rules is you can play detective when you have vintage musical equipment. Maybe this guitar started off in Seattle in the 60s and then toured its way in a van down to Los Angeles, somehow got transferred to the Midwest where I find it, and now it's in your hands and you're playing Jimi Hendrix guitar. Maybe. As a guitar player, I'd say the guitar is sort of an extension of yourself. So the way that it looks, the way that it feels, the way that it sounds, you're expressing who you are. And the same goes for keys. Just a couple months ago, I had a buyer who had bought a massive Rhodes piano from me in Germany, and we shipped that sucker overseas. It got there safely. He set it up, it was his dream. He reached back out and asked if I could find a Wurlitzer for his studio, and I said, it just so happens that I have the perfect Wurlitzer. So that was really cool that he came back to me and trusted me and knew that I would get him something, across the pond, no problem. What I love about selling on Reverb is that there are tons of sellers like me who reach out and we chat back and forth about, what they have and what I've got and what maybe little information was off. They can kind of fill in the holes. It's really good to have that community of people. It's also very easy for buyers to compare different instruments of different eras and genres, and they're really protected by Reverb if something is damaged in shipping. It's a safe place to buy. So, if you want to check out any of my awesome vintage gear, you can find me on reverb.com, follow my shop, PTD Vintage, or follow me on Instagram, @PTD Unlimited. DM me, message me, reach out, check it out.